Hey guys, Peter's living on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. So looking at high caps over the past week, we've made some gains, certainly in the LTC, EOS, BNB, BCHs of the world. BTC and ETH also marginally up, BTC more so. Everything else kind of just sluggishly lagging behind at the bottom here of the scrum, if you will. Looking at the 200 EMA on the daily BTC dominance, no real change. We're still firmly in Bitcoin season, so don't get yourself twisted here. Although at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about 4 specific altcoin setups. We're still not quite in alt season. Looking at the CME stuff, as I usually do, we have exited the down contract, or what seemingly was the down contract from July to December. We are now in a question mark contract as far as what this may end up being. Currently it looks pretty good for an up contract. Obviously time will tell. We'll certainly know by the end of February where we're headed. In my mind, I think that's the do or die time. CME options are opening today/tomorrow, so depending on how that'll affect things, probably not at all initially. Volume was up a little bit leading into today and the weekend on CME, so maybe there's some interest there for options on the CME futures contracts. Looking at the OKEX quarterly futures premium keeps rising, which is bullish. I think it's rising a little too fast. I like seeing a slow momentum. This is quarterly contract, so it can get, percentage wise, because this could just balloon out like it did here. But the weekly contract just starting to get a premium, holding that premium confidently now. Certainly less than the previous periods where the weekly was at a premium. But any price movement in either direction is going to send this thing dramatically out of whack at this point, one way or the other. So if we get another move up to 8.7, which we may see, I can see quarterly futures, spiking way high and weekly spiking high. If we drop back down to 7.7, I can see some of that premium coming off, definitely. Nothing actionable, just interesting to look at to see like how out of whack are futures, how bullish are they, how bearish are they. Last video I was talking about the USDT USD pair. When it's above $1, we're basically bullish. When we're not, when we haven't been as bullish, we're struggling to hold above $1 here on the past month, let's say. As soon as we did break this inverted head and shoulders neckline, we did turn bullish for a few periods here. But ever since then, it's kind of just been back and forth. No real definitive bullish period. This could potentially be due to some shenanigans in China with USDT CNY being at a discount. I don't really know the details specifically as to why, but there's some Dovey tweet about miners ramping up equipment buying with USDT in China. Coinbase has been leading Bitfinex though, which has been bullish historically, even back in 2015, 2016, 2017. So if that continues to dominate, if cash buying dominates tethered buying, I think that's bullish, just period. So to see that day after day after day would definitely be a sign of the bull is back, especially the retail bull. Speaking of bull, Mr. Bull, not Joe Bull, but another bull on Bitfinex dramatically decreased their long exposure here over the past week. And shorts are at all-time low on Bitfinex. So that's another reason to be cautiously bullish here. I'd much rather see this flipped where shorts were at an all-time high and longs were at an all-time low, as far as giving us some up fuel for the tank. Conversely, if we go lower, if we go to 7.7 or lower, these longs will probably get nervous and push us even lower, margin cascade sort of thing. Or they won't. Joe seems like a strong hands sort of guy, so maybe he just holds through the pain. Looking at the pitchfork, my favorite and yours, looks like we held the bottom added rung of the massive 2015 pitchfork. So ideally we would want to return back to the median zone, which is basically 10 to 18K plus at this point. Will it happen? Is it crazy? find it out at the end of February. I think that's when we'll know. We'll be at 10K plus or not. I don't think we're going to just chill down here in this purple zone, pink zone. I think we're going to either return to the white zone or just fall out of the thing completely. We can look at two other pitchforks, which I don't think fit very well, but they do kind of tell a story of similar to the ETH pitchfork, which I'll show in a few charts. If we're above this, diagonal zone, even though I don't think this is a legitimate pitchfork, we're certainly more bullish than bearish, right? Because, we've been in this down channel since July, June. So if we're above that channel, we're definitely more bull than bear. And if we look at, if we look at this one, we can say, well, maybe we're in this new uptrending pitchfork. Not a lot of data. Can't really be confident. I'd much rather use the 2015 pitchfork. This median line is at 12.5 plus at this point. So this rate of change is actually quicker than the 2015 pitchfork. So I'd rather just use that. It's hard to sort of know if this is legit or not until it fills in some of the gaps here. So it's got some time. Come back at the end of February, we'll look at it. Here's another look at that downward channel. Pretty strong held diagonal resistance up until a couple days ago. I also added the alligator and fractal indicators here just to show how bullish we really are. So the alligator is just 3 EMAs, low time frame, 8, 5, and 13. And if these are flipped as they are now, they're bullish. If they were flipped as they were, they're bearish. And the fractals just tell you entries and exits, basically. So anything above 8.4 is an entry on this system. And that can go lower once we print some more candles here. This is starting to look like an ascending triangle and or bull flag. I think it needs more time. I think the more sideways we go, the better. Just chill here. Have some accumulation stuff. Have some wiki stuff. Whatever it takes. I think anything above 7.7 at this point is a win for the bulls. Looking at the cloud, it agrees with me. As long as we're above, being in the cloud at this point is a win. We haven't been in the cloud since September. Back in the cloud, back in the neutral territory, the trend shifting territory. Ideally, this goes to 8.7. That completes the edge to edge. The TK cross agrees with that as far as the bullish sentiment. The TK cross plus price being in the cloud tells the trader, the cloud trader, that you should not be short here. Doesn't necessarily say go long, but it definitely says that not short at the moment. Now if we're above the cloud, that's go long territory. Currently we're not there, but you can play this edge to edge to 8.7. And the chart pattern would agree with that. The most bearish thing that could happen is just death again back below the cloud, bearish TK cross. I think if that happens, it won't happen until the end of February. I just think we're going to be in this thing. My end of February thesis is all just based on being in the cloud. By that time, this will flip bullish or stay bearish, whatever happens with the price, and we'll know. It'll be much easier to determine what's going to happen going forward. We had this beautiful inverted head and shoulders. We had that move. Now we're consolidating it again. Hopefully for the next move up, but it doesn't have to be that. And certainly if you look at this from a Wyckofian narrative perspective, you can say, well, maybe this is the first markup or phase D in accumulation. And the 200 EMAs sort of support that, the 5200. We're in this weird neutral growing up adolescent period where we're below the 200, but we're about to cross the 200 and we'll probably get a bullish 5200 cross within the next couple of weeks. And again, by the end of February, we'll know what exactly is going on here. The bearish case is we get denied at the 200, fall below the 50, make new lows. Bullish case is we break the 200, make a 5200 EMA cross, and Bob's your uncle, we're at 10K. That's the bullish case, but I don't think we'll see that until the end of February, if we see that. All right, let's look at ETH real quick. ETHUSD, bunch of gobbledygook, nonsensical nonsense. It's really struggling to get back in the cloud. You can see just looking at the cloud where, Bitcoin's at and then where ETH is at. It's not yet in the cloud. Bearish TK cross continues. It's because it could easily get denied here at the zone from 150 to 160 at the Kijun. So there's a big level at 150 from a psychological perspective, from a technical perspective, EMA perspective, MA perspective, whatever you want to look at that. It's a big zone. So once we're above 150, above 160, we get an edge to edge to 170. Like, it's too early to say what's going to happen here. And I added this pitchfork just as some perspective as far as where we could go. 272 would be the rate of change. And then yearly pivots tell you that 193 is a big zone, 300 is a big zone, 460 is a big zone. So these are things to look for after, basically after at the end of February, I think. I don't think we're going to see anything major until then. It's just going to flop around either in the cloud or below the 200. I don't really see any major things going on. And if you look at the ETH BTC, it's kind of lethargically sort of at the bottom of the range. There's no new lows yet. There's no new local lows yet. It's below this massive volume node. So again, it's got to get back above 0.2 and psychologically as well to do anything. Otherwise, it's just going to dawdle in this zone for a while. There's a ton of resistance. There's this horizontal, there's this dead man, no man's land up here. There's the 200, there's the clouds. There's plenty of stuff to get through before ETH BTC looks bullish again. However, there are 4 charts that look pretty good. ETC actually probably looks the best among them. And again, I'm just looking at trend metrics, cloud, EMAs, that sort of thing. Above the cloud, best case scenario, 50-200 EMA cross, bullishly, best case scenario for bulls. And you can see the different stages. So Zeke and LTC are just flipping neutral from bearish, whereas ETC and EOS are definitely flipping bullish from neutral as they're breaking above the cloud, reaching the 200. I mean, ETC looks like it's ready for a rocket ship ride based on technicals. Fundamentals are another story, but technicals look really good. If you zoom in on this recent price action, it looks like a broadening wedge that's expanding to the upside. So that's all I have for this one. Let me know what you think about the alt plays. Let me know if you think options are going to be a big deal for BTC or not. The CME stuff so far, the futures product, has been relatively popular. That's all I have for this one. Like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe, and hit me up on Twitter. Happy trading.